talk about 10 gaming mechanics that are more gimmicky than fun. Like the first one that I wanted to mention is climbing. Like, and the best example is the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like when you first run into the whole climbing scene, it starts like something hilarious and whatnot. But then after spending like 8 freaking hours trying to go up a gentle slope, it's like I don't know. It just starts becoming more boring and whatnot. And plus, like I guess it was like a fun novelty with like the Lara Croft games and whatnot, but like with modern games and whatnot, climbing doesn't really add anything, and people just find it boring. And another like folks find it boring because like whenever I'm like streaming games and whatnot, whenever I'm doing Ghost of Tsushima, I call it Breath of Tsushima. Whenever I'm doing Ghost of Tsushima and I start doing the climbing aspect, like the people just immediately start bouncing off. So another gaming mechanic that is more boring than fun is like stealth. Like I chose as a cover like the Metal Gear game, which is the grandfather of all stealth games. Like most of the four stealth missions and even where the whole game is stealth, like after a while, it gets kind of boring that you feel. No, just that there's certain missions that you immediately fail as soon as you are discovered and whatnot, and then you have to replay the same part over and over again until you play it the way that it's supposed to. So like for stealth missions or even most of stealth, like if stealth is like obligatory 100% and then you just fail the game every time they find you, it's just annoying. That's all. Like I don't care much for stealth. Like another gimmicky gaming mechanic is like hard modes that the only thing that it's like hard modes that the only thing that they add that they make different about the monster is that they become bullet sponges. And this is like somewhat like common in like a lot of games that have like new play game platform, but in the first Dragon Dogma like they did like the hard mode right because they at least in Bitter Blackout they had like different monsters and even the other ones like became more aggressive and they populated the map with monsters that only existed in hard mode. So that's hard mode on right, but most of the time hard mode or New Game Plus in general is just I was just checking to see if this was still running. It's just like,
Yes.
it's just, no, like, it's just, like, bullet sponges and whatnot. So, that doesn't really count as like a hard mode and whatnot. No, like, yeah, technically it's a hard mode, but it just doesn't really add anything to it. Like another gaming mechanic that doesn't really add much to anything. It's just like most of the time, like cooking is just like a weird gimmick. I mean, you can go and like I just for the example, like cooking in Skyrim because like when you eat and whatnot, oh yeah, like, you don't get like a status buff for eating and like the food that you eat, it doesn't recharge you as much as the potion. So like there really isn't. Like I guess in Baldur's Gate, that's the way that you like recover most of your HP and whatnot. But like you could do the same thing with potions instead of with food, and it really wouldn't make much of a difference and whatnot. And like if you just adding extra icons and more inventory space to keep track of when like a food item does basically the same thing or even worse than like a regular healing potion and whatnot. And it just it slows down the gameplay, and it just seems like extra step. Unless if your game is just one of those slice of life where you're just supposed to, unless if it's cooking in like a Sims like game, a game where you're supposed to like metal up, but like cooking in basically action games, it has like no, it slows down the game. It has no earthly business being there. Like another gimmicky game feature is like swimming in video games. Like it shows like Sekiro because like all of the underwater swimming areas they were like me, and all you fight was like two different fishes in like a ghost guy. And yes, swimming does work more or less decent in like Super Mario one, and like swimming worlds have been a thing in like 2D action platformers since like the early 90s. But like in a 3D aspect, they haven't caught up to what the 2D people have been doing since like forever. And even in like modern. Even in like modern 2D games, like the underwater areas in like the game Ender Leading, they were like they didn't add much to anything. It just felt gimmicky most of the time. It's just swimming in general in video games. And in Skyrim, if you play as the Argonian, and then you make it your point to like go swimming everywhere, most of the time you're just treated to by a lake of emptiness. So if you're gonna have like a water as an element in the next Elder Scroll, at least put something in the water to give the player a reason to wanna explore it. Cause otherwise, why even have it? Just make it like an insta-dev, like in most Dark Souls games in general. Oh, another thing that's like gimmicky and whatnot is like throw weapons and whatnot. But what I'm saying is throw weapons that are weaker than your main weapon. Like the perfect example of this is like the throw knife from Bloodborne. Like it's just awful. Like it's like super weak and it barely does any damage half the time, man. Like by the time you have a decent amount of throw knives in order to make use of it in like a boss battle or something, like it's all over in like whatnot. Like then your main weapon ends up being stronger than the throw weapon, and then you wonder why you even bother with it in the first place. Like another like gaming mechanic that's like over annoying, it really doesn't, and it just makes you take extra steps, and it completely slows down the gameplay. Is weapon durability, and I chose the feature Dark Cloud, and it was Dark Cloud indeed because that game introduced like weapon degradation, and then over time it de-evolved into a toothpick weapon. It's like just annoying in general, just weapon durability and whatnot. It's like, it doesn't really add anything, and it doesn't necessarily make the game harder, it just makes inventory management an uber pain. It's like annoying. Like another like gimmicky gaming mechanics, like where they let you ride either dragons or chocobos or horses, or just riding it. Like it's very rare for creature riding to be done right, and most of the time they just added to say yes to like do a check mark around it, like it worked well in Elden Ring because they actually thought about what you could do with the double jumping horse and whatnot, but like most of the time, at least in the Skyrim, you actually end up running faster than the horse, and like the horse is not very useful in like dungeons or literally or like the city or like most of the places where the main character spends that in. And in the Final Fantasy setting, like riding the chocobo up until the like after the Final Fantasy IX, the whole chocobo thing just ended up being a side quest. Just something to have to say that they have it, but it's no longer like something that they bother to think about to program. They just do it all. Well, we have always had chocobo riding, so now we gotta have it whether we feel like programming it right or not. So lately just writing anything just feels like a gimmick rather than a gaming feature, so why bother having it? Another gaming another gimmicky gaming feature or just mostly a short is the supposed to lose fight or immortal monsters. And I chose Beatrice because from Final Fantasy IX because she's the first supposed to lose fight that I ran into when I was like playing like back in the old days and whatnot. Well, not in the late 90s or early 2000s, like. Like the joke with Beatrice is that in all of her encounters you always lose to her. And then they're supposed to lose fights, then just it started as a cute little novelty in Final Fantasy IX, just something plot related, and then it just became like it's just something annoying, like it's just annoying that that the character that you beat that your character is strong enough to defeat her, but because she was programmed never to lose or with an instant KO attack, then it just instantly kills you or whatnot because it was programmed that way, not because your build is awful, you know. So that's just like annoying, or like the song. Well, and this even in like from software, it makes kind of a little bit of sense that you gotta kill a specific monster in order for like the skeletons to die, or just use holy weapons. But like 100% unkillable monsters because they were programmed to be like that. They're an annoying gaming feature that just don't add anything to the game. It just makes it very frustrating. Like a mountain you can, like a door that you can't open, but you see that there's something on the other side. But whatever. Yeah. So yeah, so those are all of the 10 gaming features that are annoying. I hope you have fun watching this. Bye bye and God bless. Bye bye now. I'm gonna go turn this off.